So we got the Chucky event going after Charles Stewart passed away from a heart incident at Manly in 2016, and we thought we'd get together and put an event on in his honour. You know, he's been a great supporter of ocean paddling through the years. I first met him at Molokai doing the Molokai event back in the late 80s, and ever since then we've been great mates, and it was sort of just fitting to have this event in his name.
Yeah, so back in January 2016 we had an unfortunate incident in that Charles was in the training session I take down in Manly Monday to Fridays, and there was about 25 of us training that morning that I was taking, and at the back end of the session, about 10 minutes to go, he said to the group, "Look, I'm not feeling great, I'll paddle in and I'll see you at breakfast." And so he went and paddled in, and unbeknownst to us, he collapsed near his car and had a heart incident. And by the time we got back into the beach, someone else was doing resuscitation on him, trying to get him back, and I took over until the ambulance turned up.
At the very first event, we had Charles's ashes down here, and Charles's son Matt came along, and Leechy, myself and Matt and another good mate of Charles's, Mark Donaldson, we all paddled out and did the ashes, and the whole paddling group came out that was doing the event as well. So yeah, it was a really great little fitting memory for Charles.
So my career changed probably that day that Charles didn't make it. I found out after the fact that had I had a defibrillator like the one that I've got here inside this box here with me, that he may have made it. He had a real good chance of surviving, and so I didn't know any of this at the time. A defibrillator restarts the heart from someone that's had a sudden cardiac arrest, which is an electrical issue of the heart, and that's what happened to Chucky. And so naturally, from that information I got, the rest of the people in the paddling group all wanted defibs, and I wanted one for the paddling group. And so that started my investigations into what is the best defibs, what they do, whether they're easy to use. And time went on, and now 6 years later, I've got a business called Heart 180, and it sells the most, or distributes the most amount of defibrillators to the community in Australia. So we built an online training program that helps facilitate the defibrillator that people get. We've sent out now something like over 10,000 units around the country. We've also have the online training program we've got's gone to over 100,000 people, so they're educated now into knowing how to do CPR and use a defibrillator. And I suppose the best news, and one that's very fitting in Chucky's memory, is that every 6 to 7 weeks we get a save from one of the defibs we send out. So we get a call on the phone saying, "We used your defibrillator and it saved a life." So yeah, so I made a mandate to the group. I had about 100 regular paddlers in the group, mostly guys that turned up anywhere from 40 years of age to 70. If you talked about healthy and fit, they were in the top 1 percentile of fit, healthy people for their age in this country. And I said to them, "You've got 12 weeks to go to a doctor, get a referral, see a cardiologist, and get your heart checked up, or you're not paddling in the group, because I don't want to have to do this again. It's too much." So they all went and got checked up, all of them. And out of the 100 fit individuals that were in my group, 5 had to have stents put straight away into their arteries, and another 15 had to go on medication to help their heart. So it was a really interesting observation into, you might look fit on the outside, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're fit on the inside.
There's a possibility that Leechy and I might paddle together this weekend in the race, and it'll be a good fitting thing, tribute to Charles as well, because we were both such good mates of his. And but Leechy's pushing the appearance fee a little bit high, so I'll have to see what's in the budget.
It's fair to say that Dino did ring me last night. I must say, I was having dinner and I took his call because he's an important friend of mine, and he begged me to appear with him in the race because he hasn't had a win for a while. So by teaming up with me, it's just guaranteed a victory for Dean Gardner. So sudden cardiac arrest is Australia's biggest killer. It kills around 100 Aussies every day. Dino down here, we're imagining that he's stopped breathing and he's unconscious. So what do? Well, we ring Triple O straight away and we get hold of the defib. We get the defib, we open it up, and it's going to tell us what to do. It talks to us the whole way through. The first thing it's going to say is remove the shirt, then it's going to say put the pads on the patient. So one pad goes on the right side of the top of his chest next to his heart, and the other pad goes on the left side down near the rib cage. As soon as that's done, the defib then analyses the heart. It'll say hands off patient, and it's going to work out what's going on with Dino's heart. If it deems that it needs to shock, it will say stand back and press a button, when it's ready. When it's ready, I'll push that button and it sends electricity through Dino's heart, which then hopefully reboots the heart and kicks it back into gear. If it does that, we wait for help. If it doesn't, it's going to ask us to do CPR. It's going to say one hand on the middle of the chest, other hand over the top, and go to the beat, and it's going to give us a beat, and we're pushing down 4 to 6 centimetres. We'll do that for 2 minutes, then the unit then will go and analyse the heart again and go through the same process over and over until either Dino comes back or the ambulance turns up. So the things that are important to note with this is time is imperative. The first 180 seconds is the difference between a 70% chance of Dino surviving or not. And so every minute after that initial 3 minutes or 180 seconds, there's 10% less chance of us rebooting Dino's heart from a shock from a defib. So if we have no defib and we ring 000 and just pump the chest, then he's got about a 6% chance of surviving.